Welcome to our channel, where we delve into the untold stories of some of the most significant events in history. Today, we will be exploring a topic that is often overlooked in the history books, but one that played a crucial role in the outcome of World War II. We will be uncovering the hidden details of how Churchill and Roosevelt saved Europe, a story that is seldom told. The topic is not only intriguing but also enlightening, as it provides an in-depth look into the complex relationships and strategies that were employed to achieve victory. We will be delving into the personal and political bond that developed between Churchill and Roosevelt and how it ultimately led to the liberation of Europe from Nazi occupation. So, join us as we uncover the untold story of how Churchill and Roosevelt saved Europe. Our hope is that by the end of this video, you will have a new appreciation for the sacrifices made by these two great leaders, and a deeper understanding of the events that shaped the course of history. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like this video, and leave your comments below. Let's get started. Europe in the early 20th century was a continent on the brink of collapse. The aftermath of World War I had left it battered and broken, with economies struggling and people living in poverty. It was the perfect breeding ground for extremist ideologies to take hold, and they did just that. Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party rose to power in Germany, promising to make the country great again. They began to spread their influence, first through propaganda and then through military might. Europe was once again at war, and this time it was even more devastating than the first. But amidst the chaos and destruction, two men emerged as beacons of hope. Winston Churchill, the Prime Minister of Great Britain, and Franklin D. Roosevelt, the President of the United States, joined forces to fight against the tyranny of Hitler and the Nazis. It was a partnership that would change the course of history. Churchill and Roosevelt had met before the war, and they both recognized the threat that Hitler posed. They began to work together, sharing intelligence and strategizing on how to defeat the Nazis. Churchill was the more outspoken of the two, known for his rousing speeches and indomitable spirit. Roosevelt was more reserved, but no less determined. Together, they formed a formidable team. Their first major test came in 1940, when Hitler turned his sights on Great Britain. The Battle of Britain was a pivotal moment in the war, as the German Luftwaffe launched a massive bombing campaign on London and other cities. Churchill rallied his people, delivering his famous "We shall fight on the beaches" speech. Roosevelt sent aid to Britain, despite opposition from isolationists in the United States. Together, they helped to keep Britain from falling to Hitler. But Churchill and Roosevelt knew that the war was far from over. They began to plan for the future, envisioning a post-war Europe that would be free and democratic. They believed that the best way to ensure lasting peace was through cooperation and unity. In 1941, they issued the Atlantic Charter, which outlined their vision for a world without aggression, where nations would have the right to self-determination and where free trade would be promoted. Their partnership was put to the test again in 1944, with the D-Day invasion of Normandy. The Allied forces, led by General Dwight D. Eisenhower, landed on the beaches of France and began to push the Nazis back. It was a risky operation, but Churchill and Roosevelt had faith in their troops. The invasion was a success, and it marked the beginning of the end for Hitler's reign of terror. As the war drew to a close, Churchill and Roosevelt began to turn their attention to rebuilding Europe. They knew that the continent would need massive aid and investment in order to recover from the devastation of the war. Together, they worked to establish the United Nations and the International Monetary Fund, institutions that would help to promote cooperation and stability in the post-war world. The partnership between Churchill and Roosevelt was a remarkable one. They were two men from different backgrounds and with different personalities, but they shared a common goal: to defeat the forces of evil and to build a better world. They showed that when people work together, anything is possible.